AITA for telling my brother he can't raise his child in my house. I, 27M, have had dreams of being a homeowner for as long as I can remember. I actually started saving for a house since I was 18. I bought a 3/2 house 3 years ago, and while it's not the best house, I am beyond blessed to own my own house, and homeownership is everything I always hoped it would be. To be able to come home and have everything exactly where I left it. To be able to play video games all day and have no one tell me otherwise. It feels like I am free and in control of my own life, which is all I've always ever wanted. About a year ago, my older brother, 36M, and his wife, 30F, asked to move in with me because while they can afford rent, they do not want to pay $2,000 a month for an apartment. While I did not want them here, I reluctantly agreed because I can't tell my own brother that he can't live with me when I have 2 empty rooms in my house, knowing he would let me live with him if I had ever asked, and I was also fortunate enough to have family to live with while I was saving to buy my hosu. I do not charge them any rent or ask for anything, but they give me around $400 a month to help out. My brother and his wife had been trying to conceive a child for a long time and are finally successful in doing so. They are expecting in a few months. While I am extremely happy for them, I also do not want them living with me. I did not buy my house for them. I bought it for me. I did not sign up for having my living room filled with baby toys and having my gaming room turn into a kid's bedroom. I did not sign up for my fridge being full of milk for a kid that isn't mine. This leads to today, where I have asked them to move out before the birth of their child. They were both extremely offended and hurt that I told them this. My family also seems to think it is wrong of me to ask them to find their own place when they are expecting a child. AITA for asking my brother to move out? NTA, they've had the ability to save $1,600 per month since you let them move in, so they should be in a good place to secure their own place. This is your home, not theirs. If your family are so upset, let them open their doors. NTA, your home is your sanctuary. You have been generous to let them live with you and save money for their own place. A baby completely changes the everything in the house. They are loud, will have to eventually baby-proof. Parents will tell you to be quiet and not wake the baby, etc. You could have given them a warning that if they had a baby they would have to move out. But it is your home and you have every right to control what happens in your home. It somewhat sounds like they are planning to spend years living with you. I wouldn't want a baby invading my space. It is kinda disrespectful of them to just assume you would be okay with them having a baby. Plus, they shouldn't have been trying to have a baby when they don't have their own roof over their heads. Plus, if people are upset with you asking them to leave, then those people should house the soon-to-be family of 3. NTA. Backquote, I can't tell my own brother that he can't live with me when I have 2 empty rooms in my house, knowing he would let me live with him if I had ever asked. Backquote. You absolutely can. You were very kind to take them in the first place if you didn't have your own place. What was their plan? Exactly? Their poor planning is not your fault, or your problem. 9 months is plenty of time to find somewhere. NTA. You have been more than generous to them and they should have had time to build up savings. Did they really think this arrangement would be permanent? My family also seems to think it is wrong of me to ask them to find their own place when they are expecting a child. Guess what? Mature people usually have housing arranged before starting a family. NTA, it's not like they couldn't afford to live on their own. They just didn't want to fork over that much money. Hopefully they saved up all that cash that you allowed them to not have to pay in rent. And ultimately, they're not your responsibility. They shouldn't have been trying for a kid if they couldn't afford to support themselves. NTA. Where does the sponging stop? Are you to provide them housing for the rest of their lives? Their children's lives? In perpetuity? They should be looking to get their own place before adding to your burden of other people. For those here asking if you said anything about this before they moved in, I ask, did they tell you they were going to expand their family? Where does that stop? 1 kid, 2, 3, 15? They can afford rent. They do not want to pay $2,000 a month for an apartment. Your first mistake was accepting their request knowing this. They don't want to pay rent? Neither do I, and still have to do it. Put them out soon. If not, the baby will be born and they will guilt trip you, and you will be living in a house with a crying baby 24/7. Soon, this house will be theirs and you will only be the guy who pays for almost everything. The rest of the family think you are wrong. Well, they can host them if they want. Give them a deadline. Don't let them stay longer. That. NTA. Regardless of the situation, be it relatives or roommates, adding children, pets, partners changes the dynamic. A baby in the house will impact your life in ways you, and I'm guessing they, cannot even imagine. If your family thinks you're in the wrong, even better, they can open their homes instead. NTA, it's your house and you were gracious enough to allow your brother and his wife to live with you. But circumstances that you are uncomfortable with has changed that dynamic. You are under no obligation to let your house be turned into a nursery. And how long would it be before you are tasked with being a free babysitter? You're an to yourself. Check eviction laws where you live because you probably need to follow them. If they've been saving $1,600 per month in rent living with you, they should be able to get a place. In the future, don't let anyone move in with you without a signed agreement and collecting a fixed amount of rent, even if it's a very low amount, because you're helping them. NTA for wanting them to move out, but you very well may have bigger issues to deal with. Why would they have a child if they can't afford rent? Unamused. NTA. That's your house. It's legitimate to ask them to leave by X date. While you were helping out both, no baby was included. It should have been conveyed better. It's supposed to be was temporary. NTA. It's your home and they should have saved up. Like they got a massive discount on rent. Stuck to your guns. NTA. This house is your dream. You worked and saved for it. It was nice of you to let your brother and sister-in-law live with you so they could save money. However, the circumstances have changed. It is now time for them to use the money they saved to buy their own house. If your family is so concerned, they can provide your brother and sister-in-law with either a place in their homes or help them buy their own place. NTA. Not at all. And anyone who thinks you are should themselves be willing to take in your brother and his wife and their progeny forever. NTA. I don't think I would have let them move in the first place. They now think your house is yours and they absolutely will take over with the baby things. But will they move out? Prepare to having to evict them and tell any of your family members they are welcome to take them in. They shouldn't have been trying for a baby if they can't live independently. In top, put your request in writing with a move-out date. Also send text and keep for evidence. This seems a light version of other sub without all the narc parents telling their son to give up a house to his brother, wife and kids. NTA. But you are dumb. Your family will gang up on you and asking you to give your house for free. Evil laughs, ha ha ha. Be ready to go NC with the rest of your family and be blamed for your brother FK ups. Why would you give them a free ride when they can afford rent but don't want to pay it? Your brother and his wife are entitled jerks. Get them out of your house ASAP, or they will probably manipulate the situation in some way and kick you out. NTA. NTA. You were gracious enough to allow not only your brother, but his wife to live with you for what I assume was a limited time. For them to try and force a child into your living space is beyond entitled. Part of me feels like this was planned way in advance. They knew they would be able to save quite a bit of money by only paying you $400 in rent each month for the soon-to-be 3 of them, thus allowing them to save up enough money to care for a child the way they've been fantasizing about. Also, I'm sure if you don't put your foot down now about them moving out, they're going to take advantage of you in other ways once the baby is born. Suddenly you'll find yourself being the built-in babysitter, the errands, gopher, etc. Not to mention what some other commenters are saying about babies changing the dynamic of the household. Do you think when that baby is crying all hours of the day and night only your brother and his wife will be able to hear it? Unless you live in a 3,000 feet mansion, everyone is subject to the baby's cries. Your lifestyle will certainly become affected. If your family thinks YTA, tell them they have X amount of months to clear out 2 rooms in their homes for your brother and his growing family, because they won't be sharing an address with you any longer. Stand your ground. Up.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.